Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Valheim series. Today we've got a bit of a, collect our thoughts, get some things done, and a bit of a short one at that. So here we are, we've got the black metal and the chest for Hilda's quest in our little boat here up at the tower at Elder Island. First part of the episode, we're just going to be getting that one back to base. We're going to be wanting to upgrade some more equipment and transfer the chest to the big boat ready to take it down to Hilda's. Now, we're only underway for a few moments here, and our lovely friend the Serpent decided that maybe the Serpent wanted our chest instead. So we're just hightailing it to the shore here just to make sure that if the worst happens, we're not going to lose any of our precious cargo. Alright, now we have our Serpent the way we like it, finely chopped and floating in the ocean. We've got some other locals nearby that feel like they need to be part of the action, so we'll go and take care of those, make a few quick repairs on the boat, and be underway in a moment. So make sure you got your sea legs ready, and any loose cargo is stowed below decks. Yeah, so close yet so far away. I was having a go at trying to see if I could get to the serpent scales. Unfortunately, a little bit too deep, but it's all good. We've got our fully upgraded serpent scale shield anyway, so there wasn't actually anything else I needed them for, so no big loss there. It's funny, when you're out in the little boat, I swear you come across more serpents, but anyway, where one good serpent deserves another, here is the other. Now, there's no convenient shoreline here that I can make a beeline to, but given how quickly I ripped through the previous one in, half a dozen arrows, I thought, I'll just stand my ground. We're not going to have any trouble here. Okay, now we've cleaned up the environment, we can get underway again. I'll show you a bit later just how good serpent stew actually is. But for the moment, we're going to resume our journey back to base. Alright, bit of relay action here, moving everything from one boat to the other just to get it closer to the dock. Unfortunately, the longship has drifted away from the dock a little bit, but bit of deft piloting, and here we go. Alright, we got our usual unloading montage here. Don't worry, this is not going to take very long, and we're going to work on the first of our new bits of gear. Okay, we slow things down here for a moment just so you can see all of the wonderful equipment that gets unlocked with now that we've smelted up our first bar of black metal. Now, you'll notice something curiously absent in the things that popped up, which is the armor upgrades. Well, funny story about that. We'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, we're just getting the bits together for us to make the pots and pans. That is a cooking station upgrade, which will then allow us to make the plains level food. And there are some very nice things in this list. I always find it a little bit amusing at the prospect that the baked goods, you know, the unbaked version of the baked goods, gets made in a cauldron. I've got to say that would have to be the sloppiest pastry ever, but hey, it's a game. We're not going to pick too many holes in it. And speaking of unbaked, we're now making our unbaked lox pies. Once we've done these, we're going to chuck them in the oven to convert into the final version of the food. While we're doing this, we're racking up some cooked serpent meat, which we'll use to make our serpent stew shortly. Now, there's another recipe that we make. I don't usually use it as a primary food, but just bread is actually a half decent stamina food. If you want a run around food, so you know you're just gathering or whatever, bread's not a bad place to go. Now, quick little tip for the oven. Don't do what I used to do, which is to just constantly feed wood into it. It doesn't turn on and turn off, you know, as you're cooking. Whatever wood in there, it will burn as if it were in a campfire or whatever. So, unless you actually need it as a fire source constantly, when you're cooking, even a huge batch of cooking, I doubt you would need more than 1 or 2 pieces of wood loaded in the oven at any one time. Mmm, fresh lox pie. Love it. Yeah, safe to say this was a bit late in my play session. I'd remembered to grab double the mushrooms and half the honey required for the recipe. Alright, this is where we do a bit of rearranging of our foods. And we have a bit of a look and we go, alright, sausages are the lowest one, so we're going to move that down to the, you know, use it whenever we feel like it box. We're also going to have a look at our stamina foods here. We can see, you know, ice cream's pretty good, onion soup's pretty good, but the poor old turnip stew, not so much anymore. So once again, we're going to knock that one down. And we're going to, at this stage I'm thinking that the bread will be my main stamina food, but then I remember that there is the next one up from that, so we're going to make some of those in a moment. As with real cooking, when you're doing multiple dishes at once, do remember and keep an ear out when things are done, lest you start, you know, turning your valuable foods into charcoal. Now, you can see with all of this cooking, we have gone through an absolute mountain of barley flour. So, for anyone wondering why I farm so much barley, that's your answer. Now, the thing is, we're going to be using barley flour not just with these recipes while we're still in the plains. We're going to be using it with some of the recipes in Mistlands, and I know for a fact that there are some recipes that will still be using it in Ashlands. So don't slack out on your barley production, you will end up using all of it. And this is the moment that I decided that the onion soup was going to have to go into the bottom container as well. Oh well, you know, it was nice knowing you, onion soup. Right, we're slowing things down here for a moment so you can see just how good Serpent Stew is. It's 80 health, which is still 5 health better than Plains level food. And I've had access to that back in, I don't know, the swamp, or around about the start of the swamp, I think was when I had my first Serpent Stew. So Serpent Stew is a really good food, and any chance you've got of killing a serpent and getting his meat, I say go for it. Just having a quick look here to make sure I haven't missed any workstations or workstation upgrades. Looks like we've ticked everything off at this stage. Now that we've done dreaming about eating carbs again, I've put this little bit in at the end of the episode. There was a, insert multiple eternities later moment there. The padded armor, which is what I am now wearing, it's the ones on the right hand side, that is made with a combination of linen thread and normal iron, not black iron. It doesn't use a huge amount, but I did use probably 30 or 40% of that excess iron that I brought back. Yep, that's gone. I've used that to make the padded armor. So there are more things coming up that will use normal iron, so stay tuned to see how we go with that lot. The fully upgraded padded armor has given us an extra 6 armor for each of the pieces. I have elected to make the Lox cape. Technically you don't need one because the wolf cape gives you the same armor and the same resistance to frost, but as an aesthetic choice, I decided to make a Lox cape. Anyway, we've reached the end of the episode. My name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day.